Of mornings, LALATE. Breaking news across the board on your second stimulus check, and we are here with the facts, not the gossip, not the rumors, and not the conjections. And incredible great news as the president will go $1,200 to $2,000 on your stimulus check, and that $600 stuff that a few people were telling you last night is a lot of hogwash. But did you leave me some bacon? The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And I'm so glad you joined me on a special live recording of Morning to LA, direct from Los Angeles on a Wednesday morning. And boy, it's a really exciting day. I thank you for joining me. I'll be covering your second stimulus check, your second stimulus package, the major developments about unemployment, extension of unemployment benefits, and that free money. Free money coming from your state stimulus check, state stimulus rent, free stimulus coming across the board from your states and the privates, nonprofits, and religious organizations across the board that are giving free money right now. And it's important you get this free money. So go to the front of this channel and subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please do, because I'm working around the clock to ensure that you get money, and this is free money. We're absolutely killing it on viewership, but I want a lot of you to subscribe because ultimately when I see your messages, if there's a red ball next to it, it means that I see that you have publicly subscribed. Go to the front channel, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that alert button so you get alert when a new video goes live. If you're joining into the room right now, you probably already have because you got an alert that I went live instead of taped. And I'm also simulcast this morning on Instagram, so thank you for the followers on Instagram. If you're not a follower on Instagram, it's LALATE_. And on Twitter, the account is just simply LALATE. On Facebook, it's LALATE News. The breaking news across the board is that Representative Josh Hawley, the Republican senator out of Missouri, has been talking to the President of the United States virtually every single day since this weekend. And he spoke to the President yesterday, which is Tuesday afternoon. And he spoke to the President yesterday afternoon, and he said, I would be surprised if the President does not agree to a stimulus check between $1,200 to $2,000. That was after the White House issued a statement that said that the president has not made a decision about how much the stimulus check will be. What I want to recap the following is what has unraveled today and yesterday. Even minutes ago, CNBC had an analyst on air, Jim Cramer, who said he called Steve Mnuchin this morning and asked him what's going on. And Steve Mnuchin says, well, I spoke to Nancy about $600 stimulus check. What I want, and that was a statement just a few minutes ago. What I want you to understand is the following. The official White House statement from the White House is the president has not made a decision on the amount of the stimulus check. What Steve Mnuchin is basically doing is he's making phone calls to one or two people and saying, what do you think about this number? What do you think about this number? And his call was to Nancy Pelosi. Her response was, I reject your entire offer. But he made a call and he says, what do you think about this number? What I need you to understand is that the White House gave an official statement after Steve Mnuchin did that. And so the White House has not made a number determination, has not made a determination on the amount of the stimulus check, but it wants to put a stimulus check in there. And that after that, Representative Josh Hawley out of Missouri spoke to the President of the United States again. And the President assured Josh for yet the third or fourth time in just a few days that he is in full support, the President's full support of the stimulus check, would likely go between $1,200 to $2,000, and that Josh is not surprised if it'll be a $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check. What's important for you to understand is that there's a lot of fake narratives out there. And some people thought it would really behoove them personally to shock you and report to you 2 days ago that there was going to be no deal and that the deal was going to be extended. The tone of their reporting was that there was no deal and the deal was being extended. That tone and reporting is inaccurate. Last night, those same people came around and said, you know what? You're not going to get any more than $600 as a stimulus check. That the current situation is $600 stimulus check. That also is false reporting. And I really wish you would encourage you to sort of tune off false reporting where people are telling you this is the line in the sand and this is what's happened. It's simply untrue reporting. So if you're just joining the room and some people say, I'm late, what's going on? What's going on is I'm doing a recap right now at the moment. So David Hayes, no, that's false. That's false, David. Get out of the room if you want to talk about false narratives. Viewers are really tired of false narratives. The false narratives are that the president is only going to go to $600 for individuals and $1,200 for couples. False narratives. The president has actually denounced that reporting as inaccurate, and yet some people still want to repeat inaccuracies in this morning. The accuracy is that the president has literally said, I have no number value. I have not reached a number value. And the president has confirmed that he would go $1,200 to $2,000 for the stimulus check. Now, where are we? We literally really only have two proposals because the two proposals are the following. The proposal from Mitch McConnell and the proposal from the moderates. The proposal from Mitch McConnell is really when we talk about proposals, they actually have to be presented by senators. This is not July, August, September, where we had Nancy and Steve Mnuchin talking in a conference room somewhere in a building for 4 months. This is now where they have to be on a Senate floor. They have to be senators. So proposals are things that are literally on the Senate floor. You see a senator there sitting and talking, saying, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. That's actually a proposal. Someone calling someone on the phone at 5 o'clock in the afternoon saying, Nancy, what do you think about that? What do you think about this? That's not a proposal, especially if the person's not a senator, because it's simply not anything but people chatting. It's like me calling you up and say, hey, Robert Gordon just joined the room. Hello, everyone. Robert, what do you think about a $200 stimulus check? I think you're crazy, Adelaide. Okay, let me tell everyone I just made an offer of $200 stimulus check. No, you didn't. You just asked Robert's opinion about a $200 stimulus check. It's just shit. It's just people chattering. It's not a proposal. So you really only have two proposals, Mitch McConnell's proposal and the moderates. What I also want to make clear also in the fake narratives last night was that Mitch McConnell had offered this $600. Oh my God. Mitch McConnell had nothing to do with the $600. No one had anything to do at all with the $600 except Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin on the telephone, chatting away about what do you think's going on? Are you going to dye the hair blue? Are you going to dye the hair red? What's going on? What do you think about today? So, as you start today, the situation is the following: that the president the president has told Senator Hawley from Missouri that he would go $1,200 to $2,000, but the official statement of the White House is that they made no determination about the dollar value. And Representative Hawley says, I would not be surprised if the president went to $2,000 for a person. I don't mean for a couple. I mean for a person. $1,200 to $2,000. Now, the other items that we're all asking about are PUA and FPUC. What's going on with those? PUA and FPUC, both proposals want to extend PUA and FPUC. That's good. So you would not run out of benefits on December 31st. That's all really good. So what is causing some friction? Friction. Is friction like this type of friction? What's causing some friction this morning? What's causing friction is the FPUC. Ironically, who is the one who says you shouldn't be worried about the FPUC because it doesn't make sense? Me. Well, guess what? Nancy Pelosi is blowing her hair extensions over this morning. The FPUC. Let me explain what's going on with this FPUC. The moderates want to pay really about 2 weeks or 3 weeks of FPUC, which I don't know what that is. It's basically FPUC for, the first 3 weeks of January. There's no retroactive FPUC. It's about 3 weeks of FPUC in January. So they would give you about $900. And I said, you know what? Joe Biden says he's going to give you FPUC retroactive to late July at $600 a week, which is 20-something weeks. Or, by January, it would be like 24 weeks. So why are we sitting around talking about 2 weeks of FPUC in January? And why are we killing a deal based upon, 2 or 3 weeks of FPUC in January? Here's what I said to you. I said actually two things. One, it's a little bit scary or a little bit like, what are you doing? When one group says, we want to go forward with FPUC, but we're just going to give you like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of FPUC. And then we're sitting back and we're like, you owe us 23 weeks of FPUC. Where are those 23? Oh, we'll take care of those 23 weeks. Just take the 3 weeks for now, and then we'll take care of you on the other 20 weeks. Is this a trick? It just feels like a trick. It feels like a trick. So I said, you know what? Just forget about the FPUC for 3 weeks. It's $900. Just give people a stimulus check. Let me do the math for you. This is the second thing I want to tell you about with the FPUC right now. Let me tell you the math right now for the FPUC. Guess who gets FPUC? FPUC would get to anyone who is unemployed. And it would get to rich unemployed people. Rich unemployed people would also get FPUC. So if you made $150,000 last year and you are unemployed, then you would get FPUC at $300 a week. $80,000 a year people unemployed would get $300 a week. Well, what would people who are on SSI and SSDI and Social Security and veterans and seniors, and what would they get? Zero. And what's important to understand is that when you give a stimulus check, everyone that should be getting it gets it. A stimulus check is paid out to people who made less than a 2019 income level. It's generally about like $50,000, 2019. So if you made less than $50,000 2019, you need a stimulus check. You're hurting. You need a stimulus check. So who would not want a stimulus check as we sit here today? Who would really not want a stimulus check? The person who would not want a stimulus check and wants something else is the person who made a lot more than $50,000 in 2019. The person who made $100,000, $200,000, they want unemployment benefits because they don't qualify for a stimulus check because it's only for people who made less than $50,000. Let me even drive it home even harder that the numbers across the board say that people who made less than $50,000 2019 are the ones that can't get reemployed. They're the people who have run out of benefits. Those are the people that are hurting the most. And so what's important to understand is that the people who really need stimulus checks the people who really need stimulus are people who need stimulus checks. People who are unemployed that make less than a certain type of level of income will get a stimulus check. But rich unemployed people shouldn't be getting a stimulus check. I'll say that again. People who are unemployed who made less than $50,000 a year would get a stimulus check. So they're taken care of with a stimulus check. Rich unemployed people shouldn't be getting unemployment in an emergency situation. They're rich. You made $200,000. Why are you worried about your $300 a week? You're rich. You shouldn't be getting unemployment during an emergency. We need to take care of people making less than $40,000, $50,000 a year. So people are asking great questions. If my unemployment ran out, what's going to happen with my unemployment? That's a great question. So here's what's important to understand is that your unemployment would continue for PUA and UI. If you're just joining the room, President Donald Trump has told Representative Josh Hawley that he would go 12. Representative Josh Hawley has spoken to the President of the United States almost every single afternoon. He spoke to him yesterday afternoon, and Representative Josh Hawley, on the record, said that he believes that the president's going to go $1,200 to $2,000. That the White House has confirmed in writing that any determination about a stimulus check amount has not been determined. That the $600 amount was false reporting. It was disputed. It was dispelled by the White House, and that the president has not made a determination about a number value. That Steve Mnuchin called up Nancy Pelosi and just chatted about the situation, but that was not a line in the sand. And that some people have out there said that the White House will only go to that number, that the White House has made a determination of the number. That's simply untrue. So to qualify for a stimulus check, what I need to make under a certain number of level. So to qualify for a stimulus check, you would be basically the same level as the first stimulus check. Would it be an adult dependent and minor dependent? Yes, so far. Would it be for children? It may be a little bit watered down for children. Antonio Rosales, that's an incorrect statement. So please do not post incorrect statements in the room. That is a false statement that has been dispelled by the White House. So then let's get back to PUA and UI. So PUA and UI, for PUA and UI, what's important to understand is that they want to keep you on benefits. So if your benefits for UI or PUA expired in the last week or 2 weeks, then what's going to happen is that they would basically put you back on the benefits and then carry you to late January. What about mortgage forbearance? Great question. Mortgage forbearance, eviction moratorium. That's also the issues I've been telling Purple Power to hit hard. No one is talking about it in these senators. It's just crazy. It's really crazy. No one's talking about eviction moratorium and no one's talking about mortgage forbearance with the exception of Joe Biden and me. I don't know what's going on. So if you're to recap, if you're just joining the room, because there's 1,500 people in the room, there currently is really only two proposals. The two proposals are Mitch McConnell's and the moderates. What's important to understand is we're dealing with the Senate. You have to be a senator to have a proposal. You can't be a cabinet member to just chatting on the phone. We're beyond that. We have about 24 hours to get this probably done because this is December 9th. The deadline is December 11th. You have to have a senator on the floor with something they're ready to write up and introduce this as a bill. Let me make this even clearer. During the month of July and August, we heard about the bomb creators. You know how many times the bomb creators wrote a bill? How many? Let me ask the viewers in the room. With a number, write in it where number, put in the screen, how many times the prom creators actually wrote a bill between well, since this channel's been around. How many times has the prom creators actually written a bill since this channel has been around? Julie said 1. How about anyone else? How many times do you think that 0 says Michelle? 2 to 4 says Zach. Michelle says 0. Troy says 0. Someone else said 0. Kim says 1. How about Instagram? How many people? 2. Someone said 20. So Larry said 1. Someone said 3. Instagram says 2. One person says 1. David says 2. Jacqueline says 2. The answer is 0. The problem creators have never written a bill. All they have written is press releases, proposals, memos. The problem creators, who are representatives, they're in the House of Representatives, they have never written a bill. And so what's making this very exhausting is that these people don't even want to take the effort to really write a bill. All they do is write press releases. And so do we have any bills written today? No. Have they attempted to write a bill? Yeah, they have. Mitch has tried to write a bill with the other side. They haven't gotten to it. And so we only have 2 proposals, none of which are bills. We have Mitch's proposal and we have the problem creators bill memo, which is a proposal. And today is December 9th. Now, it takes about 3 days to get this done. You can't do this on the last day to get this to a vote. So Mitch, his offer is $500 billion. The problem creators offer is $900 billion. And what's going on here is that no one is also acknowledging there's 3 or 4 things that people are really not paying focus on. First, they're not paying attention to eviction moratorium. 2, they're not paying attention to mortgage forbearance. 3, they're not paying attention to repurposing CARES Act 1 money. Although the White House tends to do it a little bit, Mnuchin yesterday talked about repurposing. Kudlow last week talked about repurposing, but they don't want to really do a big job of it. So what happened to the problem solvers bill? There never was a problem solvers bill, says Michael Life. What happened to their bill? There never was a bill. There was a memo. They've done a really good job of appearing on broadcast news about memos or proposals or things that they write on a piece of paper. Like me, here's something I wrote on a piece of paper last night. Here's my thing. Let me appear on CNBC this morning and talk about my thing, and then confuse everyone to think there's a bill. There's no bill. So a bill is needed to be voted upon. And so as we sit here today, here are the positions between the parties. Mitch said, I would take out my liability insurance if you take out your state and local and we have a deal. They said no. Okay, so that's gone. That's gone. Then the problem creators said the White House supports them. He does not. So that's gone. Nancy Pelosi, when she got a phone call from Steve Mnuchin last night talking about, all this mishmash, she said, wait a second, you want to get rid of my $900 of FPUC? I'm crushing this deal. If you get rid of my $900, people really need those $900. So that's gone. So where is the potential for getting this done? I don't know yet. They literally are they are literally dug into the ground for their particular things. Now, as their stimulus check, the push for stimulus check is growing. And so what's great news is that the stimulus check, the push is just heating up. The Instagram room is really chatting about that stimulus check, and so are we, and live on youtube.com/LALATE, which if you're not subscribed, please do. The stimulus check is now gaining support of 5 senators and also House representatives, Democrats and Republicans. And let me make it even clearer. They've put in writing they are not voting for it unless there's a $1,200 stimulus check. And didn't it get extended to December 18th? It did not. Again, this comes from false reporting, which started with one newspaper. I'm not going to say the newspaper. One newspaper that said they can report that on Tuesday, this is Wednesday, then on Tuesday, Mitch McConnell will be introducing an extension. Did you see the extension? No, because it was a false report. And needless to say, a lot of people took that false report and just scared the bejesus out of you. Scaring the bejesus out of you apparently is a new business model because some people love doing it. And some people keep on scaring people with false news. So no, they did not actually extend the bill to December 18th. Now they still can, but they have not yet. The next thing that I want to go to is, well, I want to get to state and local in a second. So what you need to do is go on social media and you need to tag McConnell's communications director, McConnell's press secretary, and get it very loud and clear. $1,200 stimulus check, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, $1,200 stimulus check. Make it very clear. Upwards of 8 to 9 senators and Republicans and Democrats and House members have written saying, you know what, there needs to be a stimulus check in here. And if there's not, we're going to not vote. We're going to vote against it. So the Democrats are not aligned. The Republicans are not aligned. They're just all feast or famine at the moment. So there we go. Anyone familiar with retroactive pay? I'm familiar with retroactive pay. It's not happening. Then let me go to state and local. The great news about state and local across the board is that more states are now paying lots of relief to you. Before I start with that, if you did not go on the channel this morning, I tweeted some things on the channel, on the YouTube channel. One of them is that United Way and Salvation Army is reportedly giving gifts for children during the holiday season. Second, in Miami-Dade, they're passing out a food card in just a few days. I think it's $500, so it's quite sizable. So if you're Miami-Dade and you need food, a food card is going to be passed out in just a few days. It's done on one day. So go look for that on the channel. If you can't find it, reach out to Volunteer Roberta, who has that information. Next, last night, we learned from Purple Power Live about incredible rent relief that viewers are getting. This is what viewers have now told us. Viewers are getting rent paid in Michigan by MSHDA, eviction diversion. In Rhode Island by Crossroads. In Delaware by 211. In Texas by, well, in El Paso by Project Bravo. In Rhode Island also by the Housing Authority. They're getting heating paid by HEAP. They're getting rent paid if they're a military servicemen by militaryonesource.mil. In Indiana from 211 or indianahousing.org. In Las Vegas from Clark County Community Services or County Services. In Kentucky, utilities from Community Action. In Pennsylvania from United Way. In New York for One Shot. In Michigan from Salvation Army. In Arizona from New Leaf, well, for rented utilities. From Georgia for United Way. And then in Arizona, oh my God, my notes. I can't read my notes. And then CHEAP in Yuba County. And then, oh boy, in North Carolina, they're getting it from the utilities company. So that's all real exciting news. Stimulus checks are coming from your states in New Mexico, Colorado. Stimulus rent is being paid in New York State, New York City, Houston, Nashville, Atlanta, San Diego County, um, and then most of the counties in Georgia. Uh, Utility stimulus is being paid literally everywhere. Then food stimulus is available across the board. What's important to understand is that, for example, Patricia just said, I can't find anything in Oklahoma. So if you're in a state that you're having problems finding something from your city, state, and county, then look to the volunteers who may know of these national, well-regarded, 200-year-old nonprofit charities that are paying rent in some of these states. Those states that are stepping up, again, are Mississippi, Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, and more. If you have questions now, why don't you draw? I'll answer your questions on air. Why don't they give $500 for food? A lot of places are giving money for food. Absolutely. Kentucky, yeah, utilities in Kentucky is being paid by community action. New Jersey, yeah, viewers have gotten big money for New Jersey for rent. What about Ohio? Ohio viewers have gotten money for rent. And we have a volunteer for Ohio, but then we also have volunteers. Or let me make something clear. The volunteers do all the states, with the exception of one, but everyone else does all the states. Utility and rents in Idaho. Yes, you should be able to get utilities in Idaho. Can a state only choose the city to pay stimulus? Um, no, it's up to them. Oh, county of Orange in Florida paying stimulus checks as well. Massachusetts, if you got $14,000 in rent. South Carolina, sure, absolutely. Um, Extended UI, yes, the proposals are to both extend UI and PUA to end of January. New Hampshire, yes. Arizona, you're getting stimulus checks. Washington, we have a volunteer for Washington, Dreamweaver. Uh, New Jersey Heights, oh boy, it's really. Is Missouri giving anything out? Yes. Missouri is utilities across the board and then rent in St. Louis County. But I had someone in Missouri get something else the other night, and I can't remember what it was. Arizona, yes. New Leaf for utilities in Arizona, and rent. New Leaf for Arizona. Oklahoma, yeah, there should be. Um, Someone just says I'm in I think they said I'm in Indiana. I'm on SSI and SSDI. They were told me I don't qualify for anything. No. If you get a message where someone says you don't get anything, just say thank you and have a great day and call someone else. McConnell has only put a $600 stimulus in his package. Seth Bowie, that's totally incorrect. One, McConnell has not offered a penny for stimulus check. Two, the $600 has not been put into anyone's proposal. So this is where fake narratives sort of start, and I hope they stop very, very, very soon. Mitch McConnell has nothing to do with stimulus check so far. And that the $600 number has been dispelled. If you're just joining the room, because now there's 2,000 people in the room, I'll recap where we are today. Last night, the White House issued a statement disputing, slamming the reports that a dollar number has been determined by the president for the stimulus check. Untrue. There were reports across the board last night that said the president would only go to $600, and that some people were were doing shock reporting for you, scaring the bejesus out of you by making you think that you're only going to get $600. You're only going to get $600. Get scared. Get scared. Well, it was false reporting. The White House said the president has not made a determination on the number value. Then Representative Josh Hawley out of Missouri called up the president yesterday afternoon and said, you know what's going on? And the president spoke about the stimulus check with Josh. And Josh says, I based upon that conversation, and which is like the fourth conversation about this, I would not be surprised if the president does not go between $1,200 to $2,000 for an individual stimulus check. New Mexico stimulus check you're getting. Um, CNN did not say that. I read CNN's report. CNN did not say that. People keep on saying they see something there, and then I go read it, and it doesn't say that. It absolutely does not say that. The only thing that did happen last night is that Steve Mnuchin called up Nancy Pelosi and said something like, Nancy, what do you think about this? Like that, basically, that was the scope of the conversation. Nancy, what do you think about this? She says, I think it's horrible. I don't want it. So, no, it's just, I thought they agreed upon the $300 FPUC. No. Who agreed upon? Nothing has been agreed upon anything yet. No, nothing has been agreed upon by the three. Washington State, Benton County stimulus. Yes, some people have gotten stimulus. I need help in Oklahoma. So if you've looked for help and can't find it, reach out to the volunteers. They're news.com, news.lalate.com/community, and they can just do great stuff for you. I wanted to know about the San Diego stimulus. So San Diego County stimulus, there is no San Diego County stimulus check. It's San Diego County rent stimulus. I've only help in Missouri. Missouri utility stimulus, and in St. Louis rent stimulus. In Oklahoma, call 211. Oh, good. Edward in Massachusetts. Yeah, viewer got $14,000. Tyrone. Is Alabama getting a second stimulus package? Alabama appears to have gotten rent, big rent, from State Housing Authority and Urban League. How about IG? Colorado, you're getting a stimulus check. A Raider 20146 asks about Colorado. Colorado, you're getting a stimulus check. IG. How about Calaveras County? Look for utilities. I don't think anything about that. I have a question about escalated benefits, says Jaybird in IG. A college student. I didn't make anywhere near $20,000. Is it worth trying? I don't want my benefits frozen for nothing. Asking for escalated benefits doesn't freeze your benefits. But if you made less than $18,000, Jaybird, it's generally not going to help. Missouri won't return my calls. All these call centers are horrible, horrible. Does stimulus checks automatically land on my bank account? If you're signed up for SSI and SSDI and Social Security and Railroad benefits, it would come, and you receive your benefit checks by electronic receipt, it would come the same way. New Jersey, help anyone? Yes. New Jersey viewers have gotten rent. Jaybird, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Tennessee, Nashville, you're getting a rent stimulus, just going live. San Antonio, look at Catholic Charities for San Antonio. I'm not positive, but look at Catholic Charities. North Carolina, not sure. Michigan, North Carolina, you're getting rent. Michigan, Salvation Army's paying rent, and MSHDA, Eviction Diversion, is paying rent in Michigan. Florida, counties across Florida are paying rent. So keep on looking at them. Miami-Dade, Broward, things like that. New Mexico, you're getting a stimulus check. Arkansas, yes, I believe Arkansas is paying rent. Gelato, someone offered me gelato. Thank you, Chef Roberta. We'll cook bacon for you. I appreciate that, Chef Roberta. What about Memphis? Nashville's paying rent. Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia is coming live with a $4 million stimulus package. So it should be very robust. There you go. California oh, I just missed something about California. Thank you, Deborah, for your very nice comment. So there you go. This is where we are this morning. To recap, if you're just joining at the end of this video, this is where we are this morning. There are still only two proposals. There's Mitch McConnell's $500 billion proposal, no stimulus check, extension of PUA and FPUC for 1 month, big bailout for rich people. Then the moderates bill, big bailout for rich people, no stimulus check, FPUC and UI for 1 month, plus, excuse me, a PUA and UI for 1 month, and FPUC for 3 weeks. What's going on between the negotiations of those two proposals? Impasse. They're really getting nowhere. They've been at this for a few days and they've gotten nowhere. They have also said the other side has agreed to it, and then the other side says I have not agreed to it. There is no $600 there is no $600 number from the White House. The White House last night issued a statement saying the president has not made a determination on the dollar amount of any stimulus check. Steve Mnuchin called up Nancy Pelosi and said, "What do you think of $600?" She said, "I think it's ridiculous. No, thank you. Don't call again," or something like that. So he called her up and just picked her brain. It was not a proposal. And so did Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, she responded on the telephone. They spoke on the telephone. She said, "This is horrible. I don't want it." And she specifically told Steve Mnuchin to butt out. I haven't said that as well. She told Steve Mnuchin in the White House to butt out. She said, "We have two proposals. Work with the two proposals. Don't jump in with a third proposal." Because it wasn't a third proposal. It was just chatting of potentially jumping in as a third proposal. Representative Josh Hawley, who you should support on Twitter, out of Missouri, a Republican out of Missouri, spoke to the White House and said that he believes that the president will go between $1,200 and $2,000 for a stimulus check. This is the third or fourth time that he's spoken with the president. Ultimately, the messaging between the president and Steve Mnuchin is inconsistent. The messaging between Mitch McConnell and Steve Mnuchin is inconsistent, and that's why that inconsistency may cause some confusion. Mitch McConnell has not supported anything from anyone but what he started with. Mitch McConnell has not done anything with $600. He has nothing to do with it. And where we are today is still the same as how we started yesterday. So why does the president do executive order? $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. Thank you for your incredible live chatting for today. I'll see you at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. For holidays, LA, please go to the Funch channel, subscribe. Also, like this video and hit the alert button so you can alert when a new video goes live. Have a great morning and talk to you then.